It's wonderful to be back. I love this wonderful gathering, and you must be wondering, what on earth? Have they put up the wrong slide? No. Look at this magnificent beast and ask the question, who designed it? This is TED, this is Technology Entertainment Design, and there's a dairy cow. It's a quite wonderfully designed animal. And I was thinking, how do I introduce this? And I thought, well, maybe that old doggerel by Joyce Kilmer, poems are made by fools like me, but only God can make a tree. And you might say, well, God designed the cow. But of course, God got a lot of help. This is the ancestor of cattle. This is the aurochs. And it was designed by natural selection, the process of natural selection over many millions of years. And then it became domesticated thousands of years ago. And human beings became its stewards. And without even knowing what they were doing, they gradually redesigned it and redesigned it and redesigned it. And then more recently, they really began to do sort of reverse engineering on this beast and figure out just what the parts were, how they worked, and how they might be optimized, how they might be made better. Now, why am I talking about cows? Because I want to say that much the same thing is true of religions. Religions are natural phenomena. They're just as natural as cows. They have evolved over millennia. They have a biological base, just like the aurochs. They have become domesticated, and human beings have been redesigning their religions for thousands of years. This is TED, and I want to talk about design. Because what I've been doing for the last 4 years, really since the first time you saw me, some of you saw me at TED when I was talking about religion, and in the last 4 years I've been working just about nonstop on this topic. And you might say it's about the reverse engineering of religions. Now, that very idea, I think, strikes terror in many people, or anger, or anxiety of one sort or another. And that is the spell that I want to break. I want to say, no, religions are an important natural phenomenon. We should study them with the same intensity that we study all the other important natural phenomena, like global warming, as we heard so eloquently last night from Al Gore. Today's religions are brilliantly designed, brilliantly designed. They are immensely powerful social institutions, and many of their features can be traced back to earlier features that we can really make sense of by reverse engineering. And as with the cow, there's a mixture of evolutionary design, designed by natural selection itself, and intelligent design, more or less intelligent design, and redesigned by human beings who are trying to redesign their religions. So this is, you don't do book talks at TED, but I'm going to have just one slide about my book, because there's one message in it which I think this group really needs to hear, and I would be very interested to get your responses to this. It's the one policy proposal that I make in the book at this time, when I claim not to know enough about religion to know what other policy proposals to make, and it's one that echoes remarks that you've heard already today. Here's my proposal. I'm going to just take you a couple of minutes to explain it. That education in world religions, on world religions, for all of our children, in primary school, in high school, in public schools, in private schools, and in homeschooling. So what I'm proposing is, just as we require reading, writing, arithmetic, American history, so we should have a curriculum on facts about all the religions of the world, about their history, about their creeds, about their texts, their music, their symbolisms, their prohibitions, their requirements. And that this should be presented factually, straightforwardly, with no particular spin, to all of the children in the country. And As long as you teach them that, you can teach them anything else you like. That, I think, is maximal tolerance for religious freedom. As long as you inform your children about other religions, then you may, and as early as you like, and whatever you like, teach them whatever creed you want them to learn, but also let them know about other religions. Now, why do I say that? Because democracy depends on an informed citizenship. Informed consent is the very bedrock of our understanding of democracy. Misinformed consent is not worth it. It's like a coin flip. It's just not, it doesn't count, really. Democracy depends on informed consent. This is the way we treat people as responsible adults. Now, children below the age of consent are a special case. Parents, I'm going to use a word that Pastor Rick just used. Parents are stewards of their children. They don't own them. You can't own your children. You have a responsibility to the world, to the state, to them, to take care of them right. You may teach them whatever creed you think is most important, but I say you have a responsibility to let them be informed about all the other creeds in the world too. Now, the reason I've taken this time is I've been fascinated to hear some of the reactions to this. One reviewer for a Roman Catholic newspaper called it totalitarian. It strikes me as practically libertarian. Is it totalitarian to require reading, writing, and arithmetic? I don't think so. All I'm saying is, and facts, facts only, no values, just facts about all the world's religions. Another reviewer called it hilarious. Well, I'm really bothered by the fact that anybody would think that was hilarious. It seems to me to be such a plausible, natural extension of the democratic principles we already have that I'm shocked to think anybody would find that just ridiculous. I know many religions are so anxious about preserving the purity of their faith among their children that they are intent on keeping their children ignorant of other faiths. I don't think that's defensible. But I'd really be pleased to get your answers on that. Any reactions to that later. But now I'm going to move on.